Hi, and welcome to this presentation. Let's dive in and start talking about the Phonological Awareness Literacy Screening for Kindergarten, also known as KPALS. This screening tool assesses whether kindergarten students have developed fundamental literacy skills for reading and writing. 6 basic literacy skills are highlighted, which allows teachers to focus in on areas of strength and deficit. Phonological awareness, alphabet knowledge, letter sounds, spelling, concept of word, and word recognition in isolation are assessed individually as subtasks. Essentially, the tool identifies whether a kiddo is meeting developmental expectations. It is a criterion-referenced assessment, so it specifically focuses on whether the student has mastered a certain skill. When the student falls below minimum expectations, he or she is considered to benefit from more intensive intervention. Also, the information gathered by the tool allows teachers to create individualized intervention. Instruction can be tailored to meet the literacy needs of each child. At the kindergarten level, teachers administer the assessment twice a year, once during the fall semester to identify a baseline and tease out students who may be struggling, and once during the spring semester to determine student progress. Students who are deemed at risk in September are assessed at a mid-year point. So in January, the teacher assesses the child so that progress can be monitored a little bit more closely. The assessments are administered on an individual basis. However, there are group-based tasks that are meant to be assessed in small groups of 4 or 5 children. The tool also incorporates quick checks, which are used primarily for progress monitoring throughout the year. They are given to students who fall below the benchmark and thus require more intensive intervention. These checks take minutes to administer and provide immediate feedback for both the teacher and the student. It is also important to note that these quick checks are also criterion referenced, so it continues to focus in on skill mastery. Classroom teachers can administer the tool as well as any other professional on the teaching team, such as the special education teacher or the literacy specialist. Training is required, although it is minimal, and this includes watching a training CD as well as reading the administration and scoring guides. What does the score tell us? There is a raw score that is calculated at the end of each subtask. These scores are then added together to create a total or summed score. The total score is compared with the minimum developmental expectations for both fall and spring semesters, which are found in the guide. Students that are below the benchmark require more intensive literacy support. Also, I think it's important to note that the sum score in itself cannot be used to compare the student's overall growth between semesters. Teachers determine progress within each individual subtask. Here are some examples of online scoring and progress monitoring graphs, which are easily accessible for the administrator. Found in multiple research studies, KPALS has demonstrated high validity scores. Reliability has also been measured with consistently high levels. But the statistics shown on the screen illustrate the most recent data that I could find between these two sources. The tool is also known to be sensitive in nature. It is reported to have a high value of overall diagnostic accuracy. The literacy domains were chosen because they are thought to be highly predictive of future literacy development. Therefore, the tool accurately and effectively identifies children who are struggling to develop these core skills. During my search, I've noted many benefits for the tool. Compared to other screening assessments, KPALS did not include timed tests. Because of this feature, struggling students don't have to worry about their speed or fluency, but rather the focus is on whether they have developed the particular skills. Training is not time-consuming or intensive, which means that teachers are more likely to enjoy implementing it within their classrooms. Since training is minimal, any professional on the teaching team can act as the administrator. I also really appreciate that the tool is diverse. It can be administered with the accommodations and modifications as specified by a student's IEP. The built-in quick checks are also very handy for frequent progress monitoring. The tool also encourages parent involvement with monthly at-home literacy activities. This feature promotes consistency across all environments to support learning and literacy development. The only feature that I was not too keen on was that it takes 20 to 25 minutes to complete the screening. This does go hand in hand with the no-time subtasks. However, I think that it's a bit too long for kindergarten students to stay focused, especially if the kiddo is struggling with the skill. Overall, I think KPALS is quite thorough as it highlights all the foundational literacy skills that are best predictive of future reading and writing achievement. I like that the screening is universal. It occurs at the beginning of the year for all students. It also allows for intervention to begin immediately, which means that at-risk children do not get the opportunity to fall further behind their peers when going through future grades. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you found this presentation informative and useful for your practice.